Hey YouTube, Dutch Mikto here, back again with yet another daily vlog. So my landlord has a friend who is a psychoanalyst, and he has been talking with that psychoanalyst about myself. And throughout the last two and a half months, he has been giving me some insights into the conversations, especially in the things the psychoanalyst replied. For example, welfare is enough compensation for a lifelong of trauma. That's one of his quotes. Okay, thanks for that. Good start, great start. After that, he came with people who use drugs have multiple truths. They cannot stay consistent. So I looked at my landlord and I was like, what what the fuck, dude? So you told him that I am one of the most consistent persons you know, of course, because I have shown you that consistency is kind of my thing. No, he didn't say that. He did acknowledge it, by the way, but to me, but not to the psychoanalyst, of course. And another thing he came with was that the troubles I've had with therapists in my life, it's all part of my ziektebeeld. Um, my pattern of illness, my simply said, either it's my fault or it's all in my head. One of those two. To which I was quite indignant, like, what the fuck? So the fact that people are traumatizing me is because of myself. And he just came with one that blew my mind. According to that psychoanalyst, you can get stuck in suffering and you can get stuck in sadness. And I am stuck in suffering and not sadness. And if I would get into sadness, I would be able to change my life. Okay? My reply was, I'm neither stuck in suffering nor sadness. I am trying to work my ass off to get out of the situation, but when the system itself is set up in a way that the status quo is kept safe, then when you're put outside of the status quo, you can't do much. Also, to the part about um, that it's part of my illness that I get mistreated, I explained to him that there are the concept of a bell curve. Most people fall in the middle of the bell curve, and the more you go to the outside, the lesser there are. Those bell curves work for a lot of things, and if you take the quote-unquote luck bell curve, I'm on the edge. I don't have any luck, as in, if something can go wrong in my life, you can be sure it will. However, the fact it's simply a matter of statistics. Of course, most people will have an average amount of problems in their life, but there are people who, without any cause from themselves, have a lot of problems because it's a simple matter of statistics. Likewise, there are people who don't have any problems in their lives. Sadly for me, I'm on the side I have been very unlucky. And my landlord, his reply was, "Well, how did you come to this? This is so smart." And I was like, "No, it's logic." And there is another thing that can easily explain all the mistreatment I've gone through, and that is the Peter Principle. I've explained it to my landlord, I've explained it in these videos. The Peter Principle is just, it fits all the criteria, and it is a better explanation than you are doing it to yourself. Because that implies that one way or another I want to go through this suffering. And I said this to people, like, do you think I want to go through all this? Do you think I want to live life this way? I said it to my landlord, amongst others. And his reply was, well, it does look like that. And I'm like, what the? He has been here for the entire year that I've been calling organizations. He has seen the amount of effort I have put in it to try and fix things. And even though he knows the effort I've put in, it's not acknowledged. And that is so fucking frustrating. Like, if someone who has seen the effort will not accept it, how can someone who does not know shit about the situation can ever accept it? It's the same with that psychologist I had a few months back. He acknowledges that there is a there is a huge overlap between the symptoms of PTSD and various personality disorders I have been diagnosed with. He acknowledges that I have been chronically traumatized by the therapist who should have treated me. He acknowledges that if I would not have been mistreated this badly, I would have had a normal life. It's not my mistakes, it's the mistakes of healthcare professionals. So he acknowledges that there is no fault in me. He acknowledges that, but on the same time, I am the one with a general personality disorder. I'm schizotypical and I'm paranoid. Meanwhile, people like the great friend of my landlord, the psychoanalyst, just assumes to know stuff about me. Everyone assumes to know stuff about me. Sadly, they're usually wrong. And if they only asked me for my opinion, maybe they could learn something, because as people in my life tend to be misinformed one way or another, I have had to inform myself. So I've been researching everything I could for the last decade. I know a lot of things. I understand a lot of things. And people who don't understand shit pretend to diagnose me with paranoid personality disorder, of all things. Yeah, sure, I can get angry because some of the things that have been done to me cannot be excused in any way. And because nothing is done, I can get quite riled up. And yes, I want to make sure this system gets fixed so no more situations like my own will be able to manifest. But the fact that I'm working on it doesn't mean I am stuck in my suffering or that I'm a paranoid schizophrenic or whatever they try to come with. Well, yeah. Anyways, I'm stuck in my suffering. In some way, sure, yes, I have chronic PTSD. So I have chronic stress from trauma. So yes, you can say I'm suffering. I'm suffering quite a bit. But the fact that I'm suffering does not identify me. And that is where that's what it all comes down to. Yes, sure, I am suffering, but suffering is not my identity. I'm a problem solver. I want to get out of this situation. That is my identity. And to have people presume that my identity is that of a victim, while I refuse to play the victim, well, it makes me angry. Because for some reason, people don't care about what I say. Whatever the professional says is way, way, way more important. Because the professional, he knows. Because all those misdiagnoses were not misdiagnoses because the professional knows. No, professionals are just as dumb as every other human on the fucking face of this planet. Professionals also make mistakes. Professionals also have biases. In fact, the last psychologist I had, I fucking had to explain to him that he was biased. And after I explained it, he fucking acknowledged it. Rather, he said it again in the conversation after that, and the conversation after that, he said it once again. That yes, yes, I did have a good point there. What the fuck? It is his job to think about those things. It is his job to anticipate his own biases. That's fucking his job. And I have to explain to him how he has to do his job. And meanwhile, I'm the paranoid schizo. It's not that he is completely incompetent. He fucking acknowledged to me, or he didn't acknowledge, he told me out of the blue, without any reason, that his clients commit suicide, or that multiple of his clients have had commit suicide. Because telling your client, your previous clients have committed suicide is a good way to start Fuck this shit. After that, a trauma specialist telling me to shut up while I'm trying to talk about my traumas. What? I fucking have it on tape. I have showed it, or I've let a foundation that help victims listen to it. At first, he said he didn't want to hear it, and I was, no, you will hear it, because this is important. And he was just as flabbergasted as I was. However, no single fucking action has been taken. Nothing has been done. Nothing. I've had a few more meals with him, and the end result was you have to go back to the healthcare institution which traumatized you to get acknowledgement for the traumatization of the healthcare institution. And I was like, you're kidding, right? You're telling me to go back yet again? I thought we've been there fucking 9 months back before I started with this latest diagnostic project thing. Fuck. And no, after a lifelong of mistreatment, I can go back to the ones who have mistreated me. I've been to the fucking police. They tell me the same. We can't help you. You have to go back to the independent complaint council of the Dutch healthcare system. I fucking butchered it, but the thing is, it's not independent. It is from the healthcare institution which traumatized me. Oh, fucking hell. Everywhere I'm sent back to the healthcare institution. Like, it's the only reply they have. You have to go back. When I called the, what was it? The inspection of healthcare here in the Netherlands, government organization, to enforce regulation. Well, they told me, they advised me to go back to the healthcare institution for medication and treatment. So I told the bitch, like, listen, I've been in treatment and on medication for years, all based on misdiagnoses. And now you're telling me I have to go back for more treatment and medication? Oh, sorry. Well, then you have to go to the government. We can't help you. So I went to the government, and after 3 months of calling with the government, I'm still fucking nowhere. So I go back to the ombudsman, and they tell me we can't help you either. So I go to fucking Amnesty International, and Amnesty International replies with a mail telling me not to fucking contact them again. Like, what the fuck? Where can I go? What can I do? Who will help me get out of this fucking misery? I have not created it. I have not created this system. I do pay for it. I'm forced to fucking pay for it. Otherwise, I'll be fined. And I can go to jail and whatever more they can do. But meanwhile, I don't get the treatment I have fucking already paid for. Fuck this shit. Yeah. Anyways, that's enough rambling for today. Yeah, take care.